From the red that it was, it was, it was, it was rising about once, but let on the rise. We fight, we really fight, we fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, it's about rights, but let on the rise. We fight, we really fight, we fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights, but letting our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did the diaspora war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight, we fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did they ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary war, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights, but living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more.
Piece of the family bring rise and see the read, hall, falls in down. It's gonna be a good one right here. Last night was lit. I don't know if you guys were up last night, late. So it was lit. Got 140 people live last night. It was super, super lit. I'm like, man, I need to start going live, my regular time during the day. And late, I take like 12 a.m., starting at 12 a.m. I thought my lives were like 9. Okay, that's the wrong time. The real time is real time start live like 12 a.m. 140 people lit. All right, let's go. Okay, so we know about this right? This was hilarious. The RBG flag, very embarrassing. The green was a dedication to a straight line. All right, okay. All right, so somebody sent me this. Somebody sent me this, so I'm going to play it. I haven't watched it at all. It's a real live word. We're going to react to it together. Miss Mickey Jones, peace. Make his muffle. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Let me fix this. Oh, okay, I see why. Okay, it should be good now, right? It should be good. So what I was saying was last night was litty. We like at around 12:45 a.m. Matter of fact, I think 1 a.m. We had 140 people live last night. 140 people live. I had to shut it down early because it ought to been live too late. But I'm realizing that Mahal Ya Naturals, peace. So I'm realizing that I got to do an early live and a super late live. Yeah, thanks for the audio check. I had the wrong microphone selected. Yeah, but last night, 12 a.m., Liddy. So I think that's be my new time going live late, like 11:30, 12. All right. So this video was sent to me right here. I never watched it.
A legit title I ever got.
This is what Tamari Lindo calls his contribution to Canada. Medal after medal in hurdling. But despite all this,
These are all of them.
he may never get to compete for our country on the biggest stage because each passing day brings him closer to deportation.
It does hurt to feel like, it kind of gives me a sense of like feeling like unwanted.
Tamari and his family came to Canada from...
It's not about being unwanted. It's about being wanted in your homeland. You're wanted in your homeland. Okay, it's not about being unwanted. It's about being wanted. And Jamaica could really use a great man like yourself to help build it up.
Jamaica in 2019.
Like Lindo's going to take it home.
Since then, becoming one of the country's top-ranked hurdlers at the collegiate level. His father, George Lindo, filing a refugee claim for political asylum after he says he...
Fake scam claim. But why not jump the hurdles for Jamaica? Well, why would you want to jump hurdles for Canada? That's crazy.
Was targeted by gangs while volunteering for Jamaica's political opposition party, even shot at and his throat slashed.
I was just praying for God to...
The family was facing deportation last year, but after public pressure, Ottawa granted them a 1-year extension, which is now coming to an end.
Honestly, I don't know what I would do. I don't even know where to start. Like, I'll just be completely broken.
Last year, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada said it found that the violence that the family was facing in Jamaica could not be linked to their political activism.
Saying in a statement, crime, including murder, is widespread throughout Jamaica. Any risk they face is not personalized. It's one shared generally by all persons living in Jamaica.
Right. It's their culture. It's their culture. It has nothing to do with your political stance, bro. It's your culture. Your culture is violent. You know, remember this right here? Hold on, family. Hold on. Let me take you guys down memory lane. Because they say we are the violent people. Hold on. Let me take you guys down memory lane. Because they say we are the violent people. Right over here. Remember this? What happened to us just being violent? Turns out this is your culture, my boy. Can't run from your culture.
Me, myself being a Nigerian American, as African immigrants, we come to the States. We have historically been very antagonistic, very insulting, often rude to Black Americans, and oftentimes as well, we distance ourselves from Black Americans. And a part of that is just from straight up me, myself being a Nigerian American, as African immigrants, we come to the States. We have historically been very antagonistic, very insulting, often rude to Black Americans. And oftentimes as well, we distance ourselves from Black Americans. And a part of that is just from straight up me, myself being a Nigerian American, as African immigrants, we come. So growing up, I'm not sure if maybe when my parents were going through the immigration process, they were pre-educated somehow by saying, hey, when you come to the States, watch out for Black Americans. And so much so, I vividly remember myself growing up. My mother would have conversations with me and say, hey, make sure you're not in gangs. Watch out for Black people because, sometimes they don't do the right things, whether it's, how I dress, making sure not to sag my pants because that is associated with gangster lifestyle. And I typically don't dress like that. And not that if anybody does dress it, who am I to tell someone else how to dress? It's not how I would personally dress because, functionally, practically, it doesn't make any sense to me, especially if you need to run. But that's neither here nor there. So there is always that fear and always that reinforcing education from the part of my parents to say, hey, don't overly identify too much with African Americans. And that is.
So they're trying to project this violent behavior on
was
us.
facing in Jamaica could not be linked.
I'll just be completely broken.
Last year, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada said it found that the violence that the family was facing in Jamaica could not be linked to their political activism.
Uh-oh, sounds like culture to me, but they say don't be around us because we are, watch out for us.
In a statement, crime, including murder, is widespread throughout Jamaica. Any risk they face is not personalized. It's one shared generally by all persons living in Jamaica.
It's complete nonsense.
It's their culture, but somehow they, it's their culture, but somehow they would tell themselves to don't hang around us because we're violent. This is literally a projection. You heard them. There's more.
That's my take on all this. And again, I genuinely apologize for how my parents, brought me up to sort of distance, not sort of, to just flat out distance. And I don't think it came from a point of like, hey, they're Black, so don't intermingle.
Yes, it was.
A point of concern for them.
Concern.
So that's
you guys come to this country from a violent country. Peace to Salik Bay in the super chat really early, $9.99. Thank you for the Lenny's love, brother. Appreciate it. So this guy is fleeing from a violent country, and then have the nerve to say, don't hang around us because we're violent. We're nowhere near, our violence nowhere near can compare to these third world countries. I mean, it's just a hypocrisy.
They're looking at it like, oh no, I don't want to be like that.
I don't want my kids to be
like
associated to like that. Yeah.
All the while, they're stuck in the colonial mindset, so they start pandering to the white man, right? So they're saying, oh, how can I be like the white man? Or how can I?
You see in media, the white kids, they live in a nice home, American home, mom and
That's
dad,
the
family
perception they're
structure.
given,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So now they come on to that generation of adults gives birth to kids. Us,
Yes, millennials and Gen Zs.
right? And they say, don't go hanging out with so-and-so.
Yeah, they're not good people.
You know what I'm saying? A completely missing.
Don't hang around us. We're not good people. Their whole country is violent.
Because when I come to America and I start mixing with
like,
other
they're nothing
African
like
Americans,
that.
and I have adults in my ears, African elders saying, "Don't do this, don't do
Yeah,
that."
don't hang around
I'm
with
like,
them.
you
stuff
guys
like that.
are misinformed, brother.
They're elders, they're adults saying don't hang around FBAs because we're violent.
Like, you should see what the white folks are doing.
Yeah, you think
No,
yeah.
how about you should see what you guys are doing, where you guys left from. You guys left from this.
In 1-year extension.
So, but you guys are coming in late. This Jamaican was established in Canada after filing for a scam asylum status, claiming that his political views is the reason why he's unsafe in Jamaica. But further investigation turned out his political views had nothing to do with him being shot at, beat up. That all it had to do with Jamaica, just a violent country. So he's being deported. These people are obsessed with us. It was crazy work. Exactly. Illa Thoughts 1. Subscribe, like the video, notification bell. Everybody just hit the like button.
So further investigation found out that he is not being beat up because of his political views. He's being beat up because Jamaica is just a violent country. So his asylum status got rejected, denied, and now he's being deported back to Jamaica where he could run track and jump hurdles for Team Jamaica and no longer Team Canada.
Which is now coming to an end.
Honestly, I don't know what I would do. I don't even know where I'd start. Like, I would just be completely broken.
Last year, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada said it found that the violence that the family was facing in Jamaica could not be linked to their political activism.
Saying in a statement, crime including murder is widespread throughout Jamaica. Any risk they face is not personalized. It's one shared generally by all persons living in Jamaica.
It's complete nonsense. We're talking about someone who is being specifically targeted because of their political work.
The awards, the accolades, and an Olympic future could all be gone, but with the removal proceedings already begun for this family, there's a lot more they could stand to lose.
Tamari, what do you think is going to happen to you and your family if you go back to Jamaica?
Honestly, I think it will be death, honestly.
Now facing a race against time, this family feels winning this battle could be a matter of life and death. Kamal Karamali, CTV.
I hate to make light of the situation, but you're jumping hurdles in Canada. Well, Jamaica, you're gonna be jumping bullets, right? But that's what happens when you come over here shitting on us.
Black folks owe you nothing. Every minority group in this country that is not Black American owes us for the sacrifices that we made to ensure that you have rights in this country. Rights that we aren't even afforded half the time. No one will rewrite our history as if my people didn't die bloody in these streets for centuries. My people were enslaved, imprisoned, and assassinated so that all minority groups could vote, go to school, get loans, paid employment other than manual labor, the right to run for office, the right to marry outside of your race. And yet, we are still being unalived for being unarmed and Black at the same time. Just ask the families of Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Eric Gardner, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, and the countless others that didn't get a hashtag. Because police are trained to see us as the enemy, because they were created to be slave catchers. My people fought through the bloodbath that was chattel slavery, the Black Codes, Reconstruction, Jim Crow, the Civil Rights Movement. Our leaders were assassinated, imprisoned, or pushed out of the country. We've been put on the front lines of every war this country has ever been a part of, even while being enslaved, only to return to a country that treated us like second-class citizens. We had our successful communities, like Black Wall Street, bombed and destroyed out of racist jealousy. And then this country did it again in 1985 when the police bombed a Black neighborhood in West Philadelphia where 11 Black folks died, including 5 Black children, 60 homes destroyed.
I'm gonna do a lineage roll call in a second.
Organizing for Black liberation. And let's not forget the war on drugs, where instead of calling it a health crisis for the Black community, like they did for the white community, when crack hit our streets, this society, along with the help of President Nixon, Reagan, Bush 1, and Bill Clinton, the Republicans and the Democrats, used policy to fill up their federal and private prisons with Black fathers and mothers that were addicted to drugs. Why? To create a $1 trillion business known as the prison industrial complex. There is overwhelming evidence that the justice system is rarely just for Black folks. We get longer sentences for the same crimes as everyone else, higher bail rates. Our schools get less funding than every other community. We get paid less for doing the same jobs. All the medical advancements in gynecology came from the torturous experiments done to Black women. They endured this torture with no anesthesia, and this went on for decades. And let's not forget the deadly experiments this government did on our Black men during the Tuskegee syphilis study. That also went on for decades and didn't stop until the 70s. And then you...
All right. Okay. Now, I want to I want to pick up from this is last night. Last night, Coon or Tether. I don't know which one he was. Alfonso Morris from the chat. I don't look at them differently, so it don't really matter. But he was pretending like he was on code. He was pretending that he was on code with us. So when he wanted to call in during the Marcus Garvey live I did one night. And I said, nah, it's a long show, bro. And we were dealing with this flag right here, right? The green is for the Irish. When I broke that story, but I didn't have time because I had too many videos being played. But I said, next time I go live, you could come on. And so he came on last night, cosplaying like he's on code. Straight, I don't know if he's a Tether or a Coon, but he was like clearly a conservative. You know, he had the anti-FBA beliefs. And he confused me at first what he was trying to say. And then eventually I smoked him out. I asked him certain questions that most conservatives is like kryptonite. They got to answer honestly, and I got him. So here he is, Alfonso Morris.
Emotions though.
He called himself
No, not
he called himself Zoe when he called in.
want to. Why does that? Oh my God, you got.
Okay, no, I wanted to. I was trying to tap in with you about.
Now, this is last night. This is late last night. So my son is asleep. So I'm trying to keep it cool and calm and keep it together without crashing out on him.
Oh, Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, go ahead.
And again, I understand, you know, like where people are coming from with Marcus Garvey. I do think that in history, a one-sided view has been painted of him. Like, you know, people don't tell the whole story about Marcus Garvey and, you know, having people shot, and him being shot and stabbed, and you know, Marcus Garvey, the negative part of Marcus Garvey's personality and leadership,
right,
and the logistics. So I understand people that, in the sake of, I guess you would.
Hold on, computer crashing out. Hold on. Computer is crashing out. Give it a second to get it together. Let me take that off.
That Marcus Garvey had certain personality hangups and psychological issues that didn't allow him to be the right type of leader. But
see, I knew he said that. He said the right type of leader, because when I had called him on that, I said, "What you mean by leader?" Like, and I couldn't remember his words, but there go right there, the right type of leader. There's no such thing as a right type of leader.
the reason why I defend, I guess you say, non-FBA people, but people that still had FBA I'll say still had FBA, or how would I say, still had the best viewpoint or the best mindset, or wanted to keep certain things about the FBA culture, like a C. Dolores Tucker, who was, I believe she was a Bahamian, but you know, she, you know, didn't like the image of gangster rap and where that would lead our minds and morals, and she stood on that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with Marcus Garvey.
So once he said the gangster rap stuff, I knew he was like kind of leaning towards conservatism, but I wasn't really sure. So I wanted to hear him out.
Even though, okay, maybe like the Back to Africa thing was escapism. If you read his book, Philosophies and Opinions, you know, we have to understand the type of leadership that was out there. And from my studies, you know, you have to understand that certain people, even though they might have been abolitionists.
By the way, he has no studies. He just quoting Thomas Sowell studies and Larry Elder and Nick Fuentes. He has no studies. He's talking about what he regurgitates.
Even though they might have been people who fought to end Jim Crow, they didn't necessarily have the best interests of the Black community in mind. You said what now?
Like who?
Well, I'm saying we talking as far as the people who fought for Jim Crow or the people, the abolitionist people.
Yeah, the abolitionists. Well, if you're saying abolitionists, I thought that only applied to slavery, but if when it came to Jim Crow, you're talking about civil rights activists.
Right. I'm talking about a lot of your first, second, and third tier civic leaders who, even though, and again, I give a Philip Randolph his respect. I give Charles Hamilton Houston his respect. I give James Farmer their respects, and Julian Bond and Wyatt T. Walker, and you know
Yeah,
the
but
list goes
which one of
on.
them? Okay, so what civil rights activists didn't have the best interest in FBA?
Well, I'm saying that okay, they wanted the end of Jim Crow, and
Right.
Jim Crow should have ended. But if you go and you read their works, if somebody says that Jim Crow should end, that the Negro should not be disenfranchised and should not be held up under these laws, but then you don't believe in a black community, or you don't
Who
believe
don't?
in,
Who don't?
well, like I said, Martin Luther King, he did not believe in the black
No,
community.
he was assassinated, bro. He never experienced post Jim Crow.
Well, no, I'm saying if you go in his writings in 1968, where do we go from here? Chaos or community?
Right.
Martin Luther King, he says in the book that the black community, or what they call it, the Negro ghetto, it should be made satisfactory. You know, you should have brand new housing. You should,
Right.
everybody should be geared.
Because of zoning laws, right? Because of zoning laws and restricted covenants, though, and I think it's called there's another term, family, where they had us living on top of each other. I'll get that term for you later. Right. So because of those
Right.
marginalized rules, it kept the rich, the wealthy amongst us living with the poorest person. So so we didn't have the ability to expand our wings like every other civilized person in America, right? So the black ghetto shouldn't have been a black ghetto. It should have been something naturally. It should have happened naturally. It shouldn't have happened because somebody forced it to happen through Jim Crow laws. But so yes, so what I believe what he's talking about, like for example, have you seen my video on Soul City?
No, I had to check it out. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well that's 1970s though. That's like late 1970s where there was a pre-plant there was a lot of pre-plant cities. I think there was like 10 total and one was black. So out of 10, one was black. They were pre-planned cities that's funded by government grants and things like that. It's called Soul City, and one was dedicated to I forgot the black dude that civil rights activist, by the way, that campaigned for a black city. And the bottom line is that all the cities beside the black one, ended up successful, and because ours were attacked by white conservative media, uh, presidential, and politicians caved into the pressures of media and just stopped funding it and sabotaged it. So when it comes to Dr. King, and you really ain't say too much because I'm a Google, I'm a fact check you right away to see what you're saying is true. I'm like ready to type it all in. Uh, Dr. King was, as far as I know, he was for resources. You heard him talk about cutting a check. This is before he was assassinated. He talked about going to Washington, cutting a check. He started saying, leading his people to a burning house. So we see the language he's using. like, cause he realized, my fault, family. I had to take my son to the bathroom, and when I'm playing a video, any phone notification I get is going to automatically pause the video. So I got to be mindful to disconnect my phone from the Bluetooth, which I forget like now. So somebody actually probably text me and it stopped the video. Good. That means I didn't miss much. That when it comes to intangibles, the white man like, okay, yeah, he's all for it. He realized that when it comes to tangible things, the white man was giving him pushback. So that's why he spoke about the land. Wait, just one thing. Okay, but you got to listen so we can learn together and not just to respond. So he talked about the land grants, right? That white folks received 1862 Homestead Act. So he was saying all these tangibles were given to white people, and we just receive intangibles, and we're told to pull up our bootstraps. That was the whole pretty much message. So that was the Dr. King before the assassination. But go ahead.
Well, okay, and I just, not to cut you off, I wanted to answer the point where you talked about the cutting the check thing.
Yeah.
Okay, when Martin Luther King, this could be fact checked. He wanted to go get checks for everybody. Like, if you look at he did a interview.
Okay, so family, so he was lying about this. I thought so, but again, it's like 12 a.m. or it's really late, so I really didn't care to fact check him because it didn't support his overall argument, whatever it was. I'm just trying to figure out what is he arguing. So I let him go.
I had it pulled up when we called him, but he wanted to get checks for Puerto Ricans. You know, he had things for the Negro, but it was.
So yeah, like I said, he's lying. I wasn't really sure, but
I had it pulled up when
But again,
he wanted to get.
Oh, at this point, I couldn't tell I couldn't really tell his angle. I couldn't figure him out just yet. But I want to hear. That's why I let him just go. I'm trying to hear, like, why are you telling me this? Like, I see that he has a problem with Dr. King. And most FBAs that's on code, we don't got a problem with Dr. King. So I'm trying to hear the angle. Like, what angle is he coming from?
Was also for others. And what was the other point you said? You said about the homestead and land grants.
Yeah.
The thing about it, okay, that's where I was bringing up his the where do we go from here, community or chaos? If you look at that, he said that and you can go right there and look at it. He said that the black community should just be made satisfactory, right? That you had these issues, in the black community, due to overcrowding and these different situations that you had, that the black community should be made satisfactory. You should have sound housing, programs for children, parks, these different type of things. But that the black community should not be built up as to stifle social integration, and that social integration was the goal. So if you look at when he signed the freedom budget, when it was A. Randolph, Bayard Rustin, these different type of people, they believed, and he is right there, and if you read it, that we should be made one people with white America, right, and that you use socialist programs to uplift the underprivileged and disenfranchised. So it was never, his thing was never about a separate black community or.
No, no, of course not. He's not. You're not separatist, right? That was the Nation of Islam and the Garvey movement. But let's back up for a second. Peace to Alexis Berry for the $10 super chat. Let's back up because you said something about Marcus Garvey and leadership, right?
Well, okay, I guess not to get too far out. Okay, when I talk about Marcus Garvey,
no, I just want to respond. Because I'm saying, like, you had said Marcus Garvey, and you said something with leadership. You used those two in the same sentence, right?
No, yeah, I was saying that people don't tell the whole story about the negative side of Marcus Garvey and his issues and his and
I got that part, but after that, you said something about leadership with Marcus Garvey. So I just wanted to say to you that we never coveted one leader. Okay, that's something Marcus Garvey came out of nowhere with. That was never our history where we had one person lead us. Nobody was took on that role except even when he came on the scene, we had civil rights activists plural. We had black leaders plural. We never had one leader for the black race. So when he came on the scene, he was trying to be that leader. So he was coming with a colonial mindset. I don't know what he's coming with, but he's come with something that's foreign to what we're used to experiencing here in America.
Right, exactly.
Right. So at this point, I'm still trying to figure the guy out. Like, okay, what? I know he's off code, but I don't know what group is Pan-Africanist, conservative. You know, I'm just feeling him out.
That's what got him. That's when they Randolph and Weldon. They had the nativist movement. His boy, who was his boy?
Hubert Harrison.
Hubert Harrison. He got to go. You know,
Before all that, the fact that he came to America as a foreigner and did not associate himself or attach himself with anything already existing, for him to come with the entitlement, which they do now, and say, "Hey, I don't know what's going on in America. I don't care. I'm from a colonial country, not even a country based on slavery. I'm from a colonial country, and this is the answer to a problem that I had no idea that you have." Because we were dealing with racism, another racism. They didn't deal with that in Jamaica. They were all black. They had no racism. That's why they had no black, nothing. And we the only people that had the black something. We the only people dealing with actual racism. Everybody else had colonizers who ran the country from the outside, but they were like invisible rulers. That's what colonization basically is. They're not really present like that. Definitely not in your day-to-day activities.
Right. No, I agree 100%.
Right. So I'm saying, so when he came on the scene with that, he already was on everybody's radar. Like, who the fuck? Who's Jamaican? Man, what is he talking about? So, and then he started to talk about back to Africa and stocks, selling stocks, and then that's when he lost everybody. We like, yo, who the fuck is? Conor McGregor said, "Who the f is that guy?" You know, and that was the attitude from that point on. Even J. Edgar Hoover was like, even white journalists was like, who's this guy? Like everybody was just shocked. Like, where's this guy come from? So some people see him as an agent, you know, whatever. But so your overall point of Dr. King was he was no good for Black America?
No. I'm saying, okay, to bring it back to Marcus Garvey, or when I talk about, because I'm pretty much referencing, because Marcus Garvey, he fell up under, you know, like the Booker T. Washingtons and the Isaiah Thomas Montgomery and the Emmett Scott.
He ain't for nothing with Booker T. Booker T. Washington actually built an institution the right way. He went to the rich. He didn't go to poor people for money. He went to which you're supposed to do if you're serious about something. You go to the rich for money. So he was just like us. So we're going to the American government for reparations. We're not going to Ghana for money. We're going to, even though they owe us, but we're going to the wealth for wealth. So Booker T. Washington went to the wealth for wealth. Marcus Garvey is supposed to go to the wealth for wealth. Why are you asking the poor people to fund your fantasy? Hardworking people, you know, scrambling for every penny, and you're asking them to fund your fantasy.
Well, no. I mean, Booker T. Washington. Yes, he did have a long list of white philanthropists and I guess you say industrialists that did fund the school, did fund his projects. But I mean, even with Roosevelt School, he still went and got and made the Black community raise $4.4 million to match Rosenwald's $4 million grant towards the school. So I mean, Booker T. Washington always wanted to make Black people independent people that understood self-help and self-development and these different type of things. I'm just simply stating the fact that side with Booker T. Washington, Garvey, the Thomas family, Tennis Campbell, all them guys on that side, they always represented a message and a direction that represented a certain level of cultural integrity. Because if you look at his book, he talked about a lot of things that now when you see what the philosophy that went out in Black society, where okay, you kind of went away from community or you went away from different things. These were the things of the Black liberal thinking, the Du Bois and all these different type of people. So I'm saying that as far as Marcus Garvey, somebody that wanted to keep your cultural integrity, that wanted to make you independent.
No. Hey, but you can't make somebody. No. That's garbage. Garvey didn't make us independent. Garvey made himself independent.
No, I'm not saying he did. No. Listen, I'm not saying that he did. I'm saying that the things that he and that
family, I got to do all of this. Like this dude's he's a Tether conservative or Coon conservative, but instead of him just coming out saying that, like they're ashamed. So I got to like get it out of. I got to dig it out of them. That's why I'm like, okay, well, Garvey, that. I'm trying to. So now I'm seeing that he's not a Garveyite. He's not a Pan-Africanist. So I'm like, okay, is he on code or is he conservative at this point? But they are so ashamed of their position that they just can't be honest. Like, hey, man, I'm a conservative and this is my truth on the civil rights activist in the early 1950s or 60s. Like, you got to pull it out of them. So afraid to be themselves, man.
that side believed in. That side of the fence believed in of, again, self-help, self-development, cultural integrity. These things were different than what was on the right, on the William Whippets and on down the line, where, okay,
but those are fantasy though. But those are fantasy. You can't be stripped of all your wealth, burn down your cities, run highways through them, and then say self-help. That's the Pan-Africanist bullshit now. Dr. Amos Wilson was talking about self-reparations. What the fuck is that? No, we're owed a debt, and we're only behind white folks because we were systemic racism, which is to hold one side down while you lift the other side up. Okay, so we're only down. We're not down because of lack of self-help, brother. We had self-help that was sabotaged, that was undermined. We were killed. We were discouraged from that in all ways possible. And then when they take all the wealth from us and we get it back and they take it again and we get it back, they kill us and burn us down and then say, okay, self-help. Like, that's not how that goes. No, you know, we're so far behind now, behind the line, where the only way to catch back up in a realistic time frame is reparations. And there's no self-help, nothing. We're talking about $388,000 per household to our $25,000 per household. $388,000 to $25,000, bro.
Well,
come on, man.
I understand what you're saying, but
yeah, that Pan-Africanist self-help. No, we got coach. No, we got. Hey, bro, that's my opinion.
No, you're cultural. Don't hold on. And we building beautifully. Let me just get the thought out.
I don't know about that.
If I say if you don't,
he said we're building beautifully. I said I don't know about that, bro. No, sir. Not what you're saying. All right, my computer froze again. Hold on. I did click the wrong shit. Hold on. I hate this.
And we building beautifully. Let me just get the thought out.
I don't know about that.
If I say if you don't have a culture, then you cut me off. Then I'm looking at like we don't have culture. No, I'm saying let me just finish the sentence. I'm saying that if you can push whatever legislation you want to push, you can get all type of legislation pushed. You can get all type of money, all type of races, all these different type of things. But if your culture is not invested in thrift, in entrepreneurship, in ownership, in values and principles, in marriage, and these different type of things that grow your wealth, these are monies that's going to
that's a conservative talk. Yeah, that's garbage. That's garbage conservative talk.
Well,
that whole matter. All right, so you see, at this point, I was able to figure him out. I said, okay, he's definitely sounding like a conservative. All right, so now I'm about to smoke him out.
Wealth. These are monies that's going to.
That's a conservative talk. Yeah, nah, that's garbage. That's garbage. Conservative talk.
Well,
That whole marriage thing. Wait, how are we getting married when our men is being thrown in prisons, being killed, unemployed? Yeah. So family, let me help this dude out. You're not getting married if you're unemployed, and you're not getting married if you're in prison. So, systemic racism makes sure we're unemployed. They make sure we're in prison. No woman is going to marry a guy or make him part of the household when he can't be there, or he can't even financially support the household. That's not going to happen, bro. So, but you. All right, so forget my low tone. Don't forget it's late nights, like 12 o'clock a.m. or it's close, and the little one is close to me knocked out. So I'm trying to not wake him up. So just bear with it. Just listen to the information. You're like really coming off like really conservative-ish, really. But you go ahead. But you go ahead
well,
with your conservatism. Go
no,
ahead.
no. I mean, again, my thing, like I said before, is that the Garveys and these different type of people, and even responsible leadership in the South, in the 1860s, in the 1870s, that was the leading mindset. If you look at what won out in Black culture, with the Du Bois and on down that line, at the end of the day, being real, these people did not believe in cultural integrity. They did not believe in the Black community. They did not believe in really us having anything separate. So it's like, okay, well, you get your freedom, but you know, as far as where you might be in 60 years is amalgamation and integration in a white society, then is that a victory? So
Yeah, yeah.
that's my thing.
No,
If
it
you're not
is.
even the people,
No. You asked the question. It is. You see, because you're under this separatist mindset where Black folks have to live just with Black folks, and I'm saying that's your right if you want to. But if you wanted to live in New York or California where it's mixed, you have that right too. Like nobody gonna force somebody to live separate. Like you have to live in a Black enclave. No, like you. This is America. This is our country too. We have the right to mix, mingle, and yeah. But all that Black enclave, blackity black talk, like somebody said in the chat, this is not the 1900s. This is
well, that's
20,000.
true. And again, that's true.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, you gotta
that's
evolve, bro. You gotta adapt
100%
to
true.
time.
No, that's like I said before, that's 100% true. So, like
Happy
I
birthday
said,
to
if a
whoever birthday
person
it is.
tells me at the end of the day that what they believe in, then I accept that to be the case. I accept that to be the case. If a person tells me at the end of the day that, hey, whatever, if you don't have, if you're not a people if your culture and your community just doesn't make it out the 21st century, then I accept that. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna fight with you. Like I said, if you don't have a culture that was built to last, outside of a certain reality, then I won't even. I have no problem with that. I just
What's your
was
thoughts on
simply stating,
reparations?
huh?
What's your thoughts on reparations? All right, so this is when I completely change the topic because now I just want to smoke him out. All right, so now just because I know he's a conservative, but he's not admitting to it. So now I'm gonna ask some questions that he just can't lie about, like it's part of their religion. So he's gonna be smoked out right now. Watch, family.
Well, I mean, my thoughts on reparations is that, I mean, if it happened, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. At the end of the day, I mean, you have to have a sound, world outlook to make any type of money work for you. So it's like if you get the money and if I get some money and all I can fulfill is, my nigga man fantasies, then to me, all whatever, you know what I'm
You know,
saying?
but
But
that's actually debunked with the PPP loans. So somebody did a study where Black people who got PPP loans, they actually expanded their businesses. So that whole stereotype that Black folks get the money and buy Cadillacs, that's been debunked with the PPP loans. We got the loans and we expanded our businesses. So that's another thing that's coming off like the wrong way. Like you have this conservative mindset on FBAs that first of all mind your business. That's one. If somebody want to get their money and blow it on a kilo of coke or whatever boatload of coke, that's their prerogative. That's their business. The Asians weren't committed to something before they got their money. Neither was the Jewish Holocaust survivors or survivors or descendants, Native Americans. Nobody was held to a responsibility. Get the money, you have to invest it in stocks and bonds. No, you get the money, do what the fuck you want with it.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So what you just said made no sense. Just make sure
I
when
feel
you
what
get,
you're saying. I'm
just
saying if
make
I want
sure
to get
if
my
you get
money
your money,
to do what I want to do
you
with
do
it.
is
Right.
but the next man,
100% agree with you.
that's none of your business. The next man,
Right. I 100% agree with you.
yeah, I don't
I'm not
understand.
beefing with nobody to want to do what they want to do with their money at
Right.
all. I never want the man what to do with his money. That's not my prerogative. I just was simply stating that okay, if you know, like if you came from a certain reality and you know maybe your worldview was cultivated, you know, in a to have a certain worldview, and you maybe had somebody that was trying to come and I guess you would say bring a free world reality where you could see the world as a free people and you know
Like
how
who?
free culture
Who
works.
I missed that.
I just was always going to ride with that side.
Who was bringing that free world message that you know of?
I mean, I always fitted in with the Booker T. Washingtons and the people along his line. You know,
The
giving the people
the
a
pretty
value,
bootstrap.
giving the community a value. You said what now?
See, so he's trying to look. I got him. The bootstrap folks. So he's trying to Booker T the bootstrap guys. All right, yeah. So I got him. I got him. And he's probably a tether, most likely. The bootstrap guys. Let me ask you this. Which how is important is it for us to self-identify to delineate? So I'm just trying to smoke them out.
I think it's important politically. You know, I think if your ancestors or your people went through a certain situation, then had dogs stuck on you, water hose stuck on you, I don't think that somebody that just got here, a Johnny come lately, should be able to come here and eat off your plate. So if we go half, if we all put on $1.
And that's why I'm like, okay, maybe he's a conservative coon. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to see where he's at. So I'm like, all right, well, he's probably just a conservative coon.
On a lottery ticket, and another person come in and put a penny, ain't no splitting it equal. So I believe in delineation and your own separate thing.
Wait 1 second. Let me respond to vilified nation of immigrants. Uh, they said, when did the Supreme Court say this? Vilified nation of immigrants. It always was that. That was always the case. All reparations cases were lineage based. Not one wasn't. So that was it's not something new. It just pointed out. That's all. It just emphasizes, highlighted today because we don't know that. But all of reparation claims that were won or paid out were lineage based. By the way, what's your thoughts on welfare, good or bad, for Black people?
We had that discussion already. You know what I'm saying with that. You know what I'm saying? So,
All right, so now I got him. I got him now. What you gonna say again? Yeah, because I'm asking you questions because I already know you are hard right. That's why I asked you the conservative questions. Like I already, like when people talk to me and they say a few things, I could pinpoint their mindset, and I'm just asking questions to confirm my suspicions. Yeah, you confirm. It's all good. Like you said, we already had that conversation. No need to go back. But then what's the point in bringing up the same old arguments? So Booker T, all the bootstrap guys. Um, uh, let me see. Yeah, let me see. Let me see if there's something else that. Oh, do you believe systemic racism is real and alive today? You're pretty quiet. Look how quiet he got. Look how quiet. I know I got him. Look how quiet he got. Right. Do you believe systemic racism is real and alive today? You're pretty quiet.
No.
So you don't believe? Okay, hold on. Let me repeat the question again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe systemic racism is alive and well today?
No.
Okay, when did it end? Well, no. The first question. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Was it ever alive and well?
I mean, of course, it was written in the
Okay,
law.
when did it end? Wait. So you believe systemic racism is always written in law?
No, I said that.
Okay.
I,
Okay. So when did it end?
mm-hmm.
So
Well,
when family, I know a question to ask. Okay, so now when did it end? If it was alive and well, and it's not
mm-hmm.
alive and well today, so now
It's
the
not.
most important question, the obvious question is when did it end?
Well, the civic leaders went to Washington and fought for legislation that would expand the black middle class, that would strike down those laws, it ended.
So
From
wait,
from there
hold
on,
on.
think of something.
Wait,
Let
wait,
me
wait,
hold
wait.
on, just finish.
No. I gotta stop you. I can't let you poison my chat. Systemic racism. Do you think that's only written in laws? It doesn't carry. So okay. So a white person at a bank who just denied me a loan during segregation. Now the law is struck down. She still worked there.
Mm-hmm.
She still worked there. Now she going to also approve the next black person, or is she going to abide by the law?
Well, now here's the common sense approach to that, right? And I love when the and I'm not saying that you this, but I just refer to y'all.
Okay, so now he's going to check out by name calling. So family, he knew he was done. So now he's going to check out by name calling.
And I love when the and I'm not saying that you this, but I just refer to y'all as the Marxist Negroes. I said that when you're not approved.
All right, so at that point, I kicked him off, right? The Marxist Negroes. Like, just answer the question, bro. Just answer the question. See, and they can't. And this is where you get them. When did it end? That simple question, get them scrambling. They can't answer. All right, so now we're going to do this. So now we're going to focus on the title, right? Did we flee? Tether like to say, according to the Great Migration, that means we fled like them. All right. So let's address that. Did we flee like them from their homeland to ours? The country rebuilt with our hands, blood, sweat, tears. They left their country and they came to ours. We stayed in our country, and they're saying it's the same. So we're gonna get two responses. We're gonna get Yvette Carnell to respond, her response, and I'm gonna get Tariq responding to two callers. Then we're gonna cook on it.
We're just African. I'm African. No, you're not just African. First of all, you're not African. First of all, what is African? So when she says that as a way to kind of like, I don't have the most melanin in the world. Got a sharecropper mama though. You know, a father who really didn't know his people like that, like he should have, because broken families are part of what we have. That's part of the legacy of coming from slaves, then Jim Crow, white mobs, terrorism. We didn't have a great migration. What we had in this country as descendants of slaves, we didn't have people say, well, the great migration. There was no great migration. We were victims of terrorism, domestic terrorism. We were refugees from terrorism. That's what it was. So you cannot bring any other story in there and try to make this, or minimize that story and try to make it about melanin. It's not about how dark someone is. That's not our history. You can't come from slaves and slave masters and then say, well, that it's about how dark skinned someone is. Or this is all about the people with melanin being put on the bottom. That's not the history of this country. So you're putting that as a priority, and then there was something in there where she said something to the extent of, well, you know, maybe not, or maybe I do get the black jokes or whatever, which makes it cultural.
Flee. You're not resilient, and you guys have organized crime.
You fled too. You fled
From
too.
where?
You flee all over the place.
Fled from
Most
where?
of you guys were from the South. You went to the North. You went to LA. You went to
fleeing?
Michigan. You went all over the.
That's not fleeing.
That's fleeing. Yes, it is fleeing.
No, it's not. No. You Tether's always
How
trying.
was that not fleeing?
Because that's exercising my rights to live in the country that I built. That's not fleeing.
You guys didn't build anything.
Yes, we
You
did.
didn't build anything.
Yes, we did.
Name
Yes,
one
we
thing
did.
you built.
Yes, we did. Everything. The whole
Everything
country.
you built. It was destroyed in the Civil War. It was destroyed in the Civil War.
It wasn't. It wasn't destroyed in the damn.
Family, you don't mind getting the likes up? Please get the likes up. So we heard Yvette Carter's response to FBA's Great Migration is fleeing. We're gonna get Tariq right now responded. Then it's a separate call. He'll respond again. Then I'm gonna give you my response to that claim. But family, let's get the likes up. We got 111 people live watching. We have 70 likes. Okay, can we just like the videos? We go through this every early afternoon. The night crew have no issues. Last night went live like 10:30 p.m. We got 3,000 likes. I'm sorry, we got 3,000 views and hella likes overnight. It did like literally 12 a.m. And just 3 hours, it went crazy. I ended the live at 140 live viewers, so it never went below that. But we went crazy last night, early last night. So let's get the likes up here, and that's free. Right? I'm not asking for a Cash App, even though the tag is there, or a super chat. I'm just simply saying, like the video, give the video its full credit. 111 people watching, 111 people should be liking.
South was destroyed in the Civil War.
No, it wasn't. We built the North too, sir. It was the labor of foundational Black Americans building up the entire country. Who in the hell built the North? Where'd the resources come from?
You were machines,
sir.
You were farm equipment.
If we were farm equipment, why didn't the white supremacists do it? Why did they fail?
There's evidence of other.
There's evidence of what?
There's evidence of other Europeans. There's evidence of other European societies.
What? No. Why did y'all fail? If we were just farm equipment, why couldn't you just be farm equipment? Why did y'all fail every time you tried to build this nation on your own?
We have demonstrated our ability to build nations without you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No,
you don't. Iceland. Look at Norway.
Iceland ain't shit.
Greenland.
Iceland ain't shit.
It's better than Detroit. It's better than Compton. It's better than Birmingham.
It's Iceland shit. Ain't nothing popping in Iceland. Why didn't you build it on your own? No. If we were just farm equipment, why didn't y'all build it on your own? Why didn't you? No, you didn't.
Europe.
No, you look at it
today. We do it today. There's no slavery today, and look how prosperous. Have you been to Vermont?
Europe was built from the proceeds of our labor, foundational Black Americans.
Why are the most dilapidated areas in this country?
Hold on, no. You better get your history straight. Europe was only developed because of the resources generated over here in the Western Hemisphere from the enslaved labor. That's the only way Europe was built.
After World War So explain after World War II, where there's no slavery, Europe is destroyed, yet we are still able to build up
It was called the Marshall Plan, where our tax dollars went to rebuild Europe, sir. Y'all got a handout over
tax dollars from
us.
Tax dollars from the 1940s, not from the 1860s. It's tax dollars from
and they got
family,
built
30
up
likes
from
away.
Our tax dollars. They didn't do it on their own. So you stop.
Family, as you come in and show lineage love, go ahead and like the video. Thank you. So I can stop interrupting. Thank you.
Stop it. Stop lying.
FBAs have not demonstrated it.
Sir.
Name one prosperous FBA settlement in America.
Sir.
One prosperous FBA.
We can't get all of our settlements the way we need to get them because you white supremacists.
Our country's less racist.
Sir, you white supremacists destroy everything
today than it's ever been.
Dude, you white supremacists destroy everything that foundational Black Americans try to build independently. That's why we're looking at your ass. That's why we're looking at.
How does that explain the baby mama problem, the gangster rap problem, the crime problem? How does that explain all those things? You're dysfunctional. Your FBAs are dysfunctional.
Sir, that's a projection, sir. That's a projection from you.
So there isn't a baby mama problem in FBA societies?
Foundational Black Americans are fine. The baby mama shit don't mean
After
anything.
you guys don't know your dad. After you
Sir,
guys don't even know your dad.
sir, that's a projection. You guys flee from your homelands, especially over there in Europe. Y'all don't know shit about who your parents are, your grandparents are. You make up stories. You don't know who your great grandparents are.
And you make up most of the prison population.
Sir, stop
And
it.
you're talking about
That's because of white supremacy, sir. And you're coming, if you're really Italian, sir, you have a whole culture of organized crime. So you're not going to point the finger talking about any degenerate culture.
That was what? Several decades ago. We're talking about modern 2023.
Now, sir, you come from a degenerate culture of organized crime where you relish
Speaking
it.
of my culture.
You wait, no.
Speaking of my culture.
No. You're not going to point the finger talking about baby mamas and all of this. And you guys got mafia culture, organized crime, and degenerate drug dealing all the time. If you want to talk about gangster rap and drug dealing, there's a reason why so many gangster rappers have Italian rap names. Gambino, Gotti, this.
They have Asian names too. They take names from all.
They emulate you degenerates, which they should stop doing.
Black China, Wu-Tang, you guys take cultures from everywhere.
Stop it,
you don't have your own culture.
Sir, we are the culture here. We are the culture. You're the one.
Earlier, you're talking about...
You don't have a culture or a homeland, sir. You don't have a culture.
Earlier, you're talking about this nonsensical story.
No, sir. Let's acknowledge it, because you keep trying to deflect from that. You don't have a culture or a homeland. We are the culture here. Everything about American culture is foundational Black American culture. Sir?
Earlier, you're talking about classical music, which many classical arrangements have root in Italian origin. You said this nonsensical story about how your hoodlums would listen to our music before a drive-by, which isn't true. You're just making stuff up. That isn't true. You're listening to... You said earlier that before your hoodlums would do a drive-by, you would listen to classical music, which it just isn't true. You're listening to gangster rap. You're listening to harmful music.
How are you gonna tell me what's true or not? You don't know.
Go to any prison in America and survey the prisoners. What is their favorite genre? They're not gonna say classical music. They're gonna say gangster rap. They're gonna say drill. They're gonna say grime if it's UK. They're not going to say classical music, and you know that. They're not going to say country.
Okay, you're a suspected white supremacist who don't know anything about foundational Black American culture.
So they're listening to classical music in prison.
Sir, you
don't listening to classical music in prison,
know
really.
Stereotypes given to you by the white media. If you talk to a lot of guys in prison and a lot of street dudes, they're actually very intelligent.
Yeah, they're bumping Mozart's. Yeah, they're bumping Beethoven's Third Symphony, right? They're not bumping any NWA or
they're bumping some Italian women's coochies, because that's what you're really mad at, because the Italian women.
And that's another thing. You guys are too promiscuous as well.
Well,
you're too promiscuous. Have you seen Sexy Red?
We can't help.
And who's the other?
Sir, we can't help that your women throw their coochie at us. We can't help that,
And
sir.
that's why you have the baby mama issue.
Well,
and it's spreading to our community as well.
You're mad at the baby mamas because your birth rate is low. That's what you're so mad at the baby mamas.
No, it isn't.
We can't help you.
It isn't. No, it isn't. Our birth.
No, sir.
In 2020, Black women birth rate declined by 2%.
Well, you
White
just
women, our birth rate declined by 2%.
Mamas. You're just here. Which one is it? Is it a declining birth rate, or is it a bunch of baby mamas? You can't get your lies straight. Which one is it? Because
it's because of abortion that your birth rate, and it's also obesity, it's heart disease, it's the maternity issue that Black women have as well.
And speaking of birth rates, over there in Italy, y'all know I've been hearing about them numbers. Boy, y'all got some struggle birth rates over there in Italy. Have you been reading the news?
It's not struggling as much as the FBA is. It's not struggling as much as the FBA.
Stop it, sir. Them birth rates over there in Italy in particular are really strong.
Our birth rates are fine.
No, they're not.
Our birth rates are fine.
No, they're not, sir.
Have you seen your abortion rates?
No,
there are more Black babies being aborted in New York than born. Have you seen that? Have you seen that news?
A lot of those are tethers, so those are not foundational Black Americans. But sir, your birth rates are very struggling right now. So is that why you're upset about brothers banging them Italian women?
If our birth rates are struggling, then you guys should be worried because we're the only people in this country who have contributed anything. What happens when white people comprise of a small minority? The country's going to crash. The country's going to crash. Who's going to run the airports?
You couldn't contribute anything in Italy, sir. Your family had to flee, so you're not contributing anything. What did Italy contribute in the last 100 years? You're talking about we, and you speaking about a French. What did your people contribute besides spaghetti and ravioli?
Do you know who Sir Isaac Newton is?
Yeah, he wasn't Italian. You're trying to take credit for everybody Anglo. Sir Isaac Newton was not Italian. What are you talking about?
Imagine if every white person in America just magically disappeared. Do you think the country would get better or worse?
Well, sir, you just became white a few decades ago, so you don't even count yet. You understand? And you up here just trying to make up stuff and you trying to lie. Sir Isaac Newton, by the way, was from England. He wasn't Italian whatsoever, and he was using Egyptian text in order to get some of his scientific theories, sir. So what are you talking about?
Sorry,
You
I was
really
thinking of Galileo. I was thinking of Galileo. But we have Galvani, we have Avogadro, we have...
And all of them...
Go back to my question.
And all of those, Galileo and Michelangelo, all of those guys got their information from the damn Black Moors. So if you want to go there, let's go there too.
Let's look at the Moors today. How are they doing? Let's check up on them.
Well, the Moors are black people. Moors are black people. That's what a Moor was, a catch-all term for black people. And when those Moors was up there banging them Italian women left and right, that kind of put a little melanin in y'all skin and turned you into a fixed mulatto race. That's why white supremacists were calling y'all guineas. That was another word for African. But go ahead, sir.
Why are you deflecting from my original question? Imagine if every white person in America just disappeared overnight. Would our country be better or worse? Just think about it.
Man, we'd be all right because
who's going to run? No. Who's going to run the sewer plants? Who's going to run the universities? Who's going to run the telecommunication systems?
Not your
satellites will literally fall from the air.
Not your people.
Exactly.
Not you. Because y'all weren't running nothing.
So who's going to run it?
It would have to be foundational.
Society will literally collapse.
I'm sorry.
You guys don't know how to do that.
Sir,
you don't know how to do that. And you talk about this.
Sir, listen, sir. We built this thing from scratch. Not just picking cotton, but some of the
you can't run it.
Why can't we run
Those were stolen. Why can't we run? Those were stolen. You guys... Because you haven't demonstrated your ability to run it.
We have. Yes, we have. That's the fact that you guys have to destroy every little town we create shows that we have the ingenuity because we're a threat. People who are not a threat, you don't have to destroy their towns every time they build something. So
you destroy your own towns.
No, we don't. No, the white supremacists.
You destroy your own towns.
No. You white supremacists do that. That's you who do that.
Look what you do. Look what you guys are doing in Chicago. You're voting in all these Democrat politicians and they're importing all these illegals that are destroying your town, along with crime.
Your people, right. Non-FBAs, right. The people who destroy our communities are you and other tethers, sir. So I'm glad you admitted that and you conceded to that, sir.
No,
you guys.
We improve societies. We improve societies. I don't know what a tether is.
You couldn't improve. Sir, if you fled from your homeland, you demonstrate that you can't improve anything. Fleeing doesn't improve anything, sir.
You guys are the original fleers. You even said it earlier.
Well, sir,
didn't you say earlier that you came from Africa?
We are the only non-fleers over here. We didn't flee from shit. We didn't flee from nothing, sir. You can never project that fleeing stuff on us. And that's where the anger and the jealousy comes from. Because we're the only people who stood 10 toes down and we faced oppression and we didn't bitch up and bone out. You let your oppressors absorb you and you identify with your oppressors. The Anglo whites were whooping your ass. And now you identify as
Where did you come from?
So they sunned you. You got sunned. You got turned into a biatch. And that's where your anger is from, sir.
FBA stands for fleeing before anyone else, because where did you come from? Where did you guys come from?
Where did we flee from?
Yeah, where did you flee from? Yeah.
That's the question. Nowhere. You said we fled from where?
From Africa. You went from Africa
We didn't
to the
flee
Americas,
from
as you said. So where did you come from?
How did we flee from Africa?
Where did you come from? How did you end up in the Americas?
Flee from Africa.
He's gonna dodge that question. I guarantee that.
You said you're indigenous to the Americas, meaning you have to have come from somewhere.
Flee from, because now you're running out of troll material. Okay, thank you so much.
You were talking.
Thank you so much.
We have no culture, and that's not true. We didn't flee.
Where are you now?
I'm in Denver, Colorado.
You fled, sir. That's called fleeing.
That's not really called fleeing.
It is,
that's called migrating.
No. That's fleeing, sir.
Okay, where's your family from?
From North Carolina and Alabama.
Why aren't you in North Carolina or Alabama? Did you fled?
No.
Why are you in California?
Because this is my country.
This is your country,
yes,
right?
Yes, it is. Yep. It's my country because because you know what? My tax dollars are funding the state of California. When I was in Alabama, my tax dollars were still funding California. So I'm moving to where my tax dollars are going, where my family built. You are coming to a place that other people built, and you're being very disrespectful. That makes you a fleeing tether, sir.
I'm not being disrespectful. But what I'm saying is I also pay taxes as well.
Oh,
no.
I have a right to be here just as much. No. When you came here, you weren't paying anything. You came over here and you pulled up a chair and you started eating, sir. You couldn't pay taxes because you didn't have anything in your homeland. That's why you fled. So you don't come here being disrespectful, talking about what's your slave name. That's disrespectful to foundational Black Americans, period. When there is slavery over there in East Africa now that you fled from, sir. You understand?
There's no slavery in Somalia.
Sir, they're getting those Somalis and East Africans and taking their asses up there to Morocco and Algeria and them other places and selling them on the coast right now, sir, if you don't stop.
It's not in Somalia, but
they're taking Somalians and some of those other East Africans, Somalis too. They take a lot of y'all from East Africa and take you up there to North Africa and start selling you off, sir. They're doing that now. So don't play games.
I think I've heard something similar to it, but it's just that when Somalis try to leave the country and go to Europe, you know, they have to go through North Africa. And that's when, you know, the Libyan pirates and all that stuff. That's when they kidnap them, hold them for ransom and all that stuff. But slavery does exist.
That's slavery, sir. They're selling them off as slaves. So don't try to play that game because you fled from the slavery going on in your homeland now.
I never fled because of slavery. I
didn't
flee at all.
But you didn't do anything about it, sir. You got slavery in your homeland now, and you're fleeing the degradation. Sir, you're fleeing, yes, and you're welcome because if
when we come to America,
Baba Doodoo, if it weren't for us, you would still be over there brushing a llama's fur. All right. So you better show thanks to us. All right.
Look.
Go ahead. Baba Doodoo, go ahead, bro.
I feel like foundational Black Americans also fled too, in a sense, because
we didn't flee nothing.
I'll tell you why.
We didn't flee nowhere.
I'll tell you why, brother.
Well, you know what you're about to do is just make up some jive ass
I'm not
scenario.
going to make up something.
We didn't flee nowhere.
Okay, because if you look up the Great Migration,
the Great Migration, and a lot of tethers try to make that out to be some kind of fleeing thing. There were some Black people who moved north to where their tax dollars were, and most Black people stayed in the South. So we weren't fleeing anything. We were going where our tax dollars go. Our labor built the North too. We built the entire United States. So we're moving around to where we built. That ain't fleeing, sir. This is ours.
What I would say is the reason why the Great Migration happened is because of rabid racism and because of poverty. Because of that, millions of foundational Black Americans fled the South into the North.
Wasn't fleeing because Black folks were going back and forth to the South. We didn't just go up north and stay like you guys. You tethers, you come here, you never go back. We always went back and forth to the South, sir. So it wasn't no fleeing. We went back to the South. We were cool. And there was racism in the North. We weren't tripping on the racism. There were more job opportunities because of the war economy. So we took advantage of some of the job efforts that were popping off. So we were used to the racism. We weren't fleeing anything, sir. We were just moving to where our tax dollars were going. That's a big difference. This is our house. And if you are in one part of the house, that's cool. Another part of the house might be a little warmer at a certain time. You move to that other side of the house, but it's still your house. It's a big difference from fleeing and then eating off somebody else and then being disrespectful. You understand that?
But I feel like it's also my house as well because
no,
it's
no,
the sweat
it's
of
not.
Africa.
No, it's not, sir. It's not, because you didn't build this. You
The
you
sons
didn't
and
build.
daughters of Africa did.
Sir, please, because you didn't build nothing over there. You didn't build nothing there, nor did you build anything here. You just pulled up a plate and a chair and started eating, and then started being disrespectful, which is what you're not going to do. So you got to understand your place in this game. You understand?
But what I'm saying is, I'm just using your own logic in regards to the fleeing part. I don't believe that you guys fled, and I also don't believe that we fled as well.
But you did. You did.
I did not flee. I did not flee. I was not a refugee. I'm an immigrant.
Right, but
That's not fleeing.
It is fleeing.
If you go from one part of the country or one part of the world to another part of the world because of better economic standards, is that really fleeing? I mean,
yeah, because that means you couldn't get it popping on your own. And the problem is, y'all come over here and you have so much disrespect for the people who made it possible for you to flee. See, that's where you're going to cut the bullshit out. Because if it weren't for us, you wouldn't have a place to come to. That's why the disrespect is just not going to happen. You understand?
Let me tell you something. Dr. Khalid taught us that Africa is not our home. It is our throne. 196 million square miles of the planet Earth is our home. So I have a right to be here.
But your
just as much
ass
as you.
ain't. But you're not on the throne. You're not on your throne. You're over here on our throne that we built. We built a throne for you to come up here and chill on.
And
so you're not on your throne back home because it's not popping.
A lot of us send money back home, so it's not like we're here being selfish.
Y'all always say that.
We're literally financing our brethren in Somalia.
So do it within. Sir, you're not. You're just fleeing, and everybody's taking to flee. Y'all taking turns to flee, sir. You don't have it popping over there, sir. Stop trying to sell the Wakanda.
It isn't popping over there because of a global system of white supremacy.
There's
you
white
should
supremacy,
know about
and
it, brother.
there's white supremacy here, and we ain't fleeing. So
But
yeah, what's your excuse?
It's not. I mean,
it's not what?
The economic situation in Somalia is way worse.
Because y'all flee.
The European powers and the Western world in general, they have Africa in a chokehold.
Because you flee and don't make it better. That's why it's in a chokehold. The economic situation was bad here too, but we didn't flee. We stayed here and said, hey, we're going to get some of ours. See, that's the big difference, sir.
There's many foundational Black Americans who left to Liberia, to Canada, to Europe.
Sir,
is that fleeing?
A handful that's not even significant, sir. Okay. They don't even count. A very small handful. A very small handful, and they don't even matter. They're so insignificant, it doesn't matter.
You would say it's less than 1%, right?
Way less. It doesn't. It's a blip on the radar. It doesn't even matter.
Less than 1%.
I don't care what less than or whatever. It's so small. It's not even significant. It's a non sequitur.
But I'm also saying less than 1% of the Somali population left Somalia. The majority, millions and millions of Somalis are still in Somalia.
Because there's a limit to how you can flee. Hell, if it were not a limit, all of you would leave. To be honest, so many of you would leave. Y'all don't want to be over there like that. Let's keep it a buck.
These open borders,
they just have a limit. There's only a few places you can flee to.
But everybody would too. Even those in the UK, if they could pick, they would come to America.
No, because you guys are trying to flee to other places, and other places are not taking you. Let's keep it a buck. Y'all go to other places and get rejected.
But with these open borders right now, it's easier now than
no.
We're
not going to rewrite.
Not leaving.
Let's not rewrite history. You guys try to leave all the time. Other places don't take you. And a lot of you can't make it over here. And the lucky ones who do make it over here, that's like the lottery. You're so grateful. That's why don't be disrespectful, because the
I
only
am
reason.
grateful to be here.
No, because no, if you open up your goddamn mouth talking about what's your slave name, nigga, nah,
I was
nah,
just
nah,
joking at
nah,
first.
nah, 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 nah. We don't do that now.
Well,
No,
because
not
your
because
middle
no,
name.
no disrespect to me or any other foundational Black American at all. Because if it were not for me and my ancestors making a lane for you to come over here, again, you would be still over there in a hut eating some damn injera, digging a turd out your ass right now. All right? That's the long and short of it. So you're just not going to be disrespectful in any sense of the word.
But I feel like your middle name is disrespectful to
It
my
doesn't
religion.
mean that doesn't matter. You, nigga, I can call myself Moonbeam Chocolate Cake. It doesn't matter. I'm on my homeland that my family built, nigga. So I can call myself anything I want to call
I
myself.
feel like you're stealing from our religion by
Sir,
placing our God as your middle name. Can you
stop it, sir.
apologize?
You're not an Arab. That's another problem. You guys don't have an
I'm Muslim.
identity. You're not an Arab, and that's another thing. Y'all want to identify with the Arabs so bad.
No,
You're not
fuck
an
the
Arab,
Arabs.
and that's
I don't
why.
support the Arabs at all.
And that's yes, you do.
I
You
swear to
want
God, I do not.
a lot of you are wannabe Arabs, and that's why you don't have a cultural identity that's any significance. And this is why the culture has failed over there, because you want to be something that you're not, and you're not standing on any pride in your homeland, sir.
It's rich coming from you when your name is Tariq Nasheed. Look in the mirror.
But I'm a foundational Black American who can.
Why do you have an Arabian name?
But because I'm a foundational Black American and I can do what the hell
Doesn't
I
make
want
sense.
to on my homeland. I can do whatever I want to do on my homeland, sir. But you can't. You have to flee.
I'm also in my homeland in a sense because
No,
Black people
you're
were the first in North America.
No, you're not, sir. This is not your homeland, sir. This is the land you fled to, thanks to us, and we gave you a lane, and you should be very thankful, sir. Right?
I am thankful to those who came before, but
but you're not.
I have a problem with your rhetoric, saying that we fled.
You
we have
did,
no
and you
culture and all that
fled,
stuff.
and you know you fled, sir. You know
That's
the
not
stuff.
fleeing, though. Okay,
Yes,
so
it is.
every
See,
person.
No. You did flee, and you guys know you fled, and you have a lot of shame about fleeing. That's why you want to project a lot of your stuff onto us, and we're not letting you project your failure onto us, because you're part of the Tether class. And the Tether class is always coming around us trying to project and always trying to undermine and do little weird shit that got you undermined back in your homeland. And we're not allowing that to happen, sir. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. But
All
you
right.
talk about slavery. There's also still a form of oppression and slavery going on here. You're a slave to your car note. I mean, some people are
Dude,
actual
that's a
literal
reach.
slaves in a way.
That's a
So
reach. You're just reaching at this point, sir.
what I'm
You're
saying
just
is,
reaching.
it's not really popping like that over here as well because of
If
not
it
in
weren't,
comparison to
dude,
Somalia.
if it weren't, y'all wouldn't be busting your asses to flee over here if it wasn't popping like that, sir.
Do you consider every migrant who
Baba Doodoo, go ahead. Baba Doodoo, go ahead.
do you consider every person who immigrates to this country as somebody who fled?
Not everybody, but
Then why is it just us? Do you hate us?
because you actually fled and you have contempt for the people that help you get the hell up out of the failed homeland.
Because of the global system of white supremacy. That's why Africa is in that condition. You know that. You fight white supremacy, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Don't you agree with me, brother?
But we didn't flee though. You know, I respect what they're doing over there in Gabon right now. They're getting the white supremacists up out of there. They're staying and fighting on their homeland. I stand with that. I love that.
Me too,
I
brother.
got a lot of respect for them brothers. I do not have respect for anybody who flees after they fail their homeland and then come over here after me and my ancestors help you get a lane to come and eat, and then you have any type of damn disrespect. I got a real problem with that.
It's not disrespect. I mean,
It's much disrespect. Anyway, let me get some more people because I don't want to hear.
All right, thank you.
CC, come on in here, young lady.
Okay, stop making me.
All right, so let me get my 2 cents on this right here. You dig? So peace to who was that? Jack Boy Music. He's in the building. Matter of fact, let me do a roll call. So Jack Boy Music. Make sure I can be heard. I'm not muted. Okay. So Jack Boy Music. Jack Boy Music. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Let me do the lineage roll call real fast, then I'm gonna get my 2 cents. Bro, peace. Marvin Roel, peace. R.A. Chicago, FBA, peace. To you, Tayate Carter, peace. Lord Maul, 3, peace. Carrie Wright, peace. Grand Rising, I could say 7 Up, Grand Rising. I am 6, Grand Rising, Grand Rising. Everybody, I'm shouting out. Claude Neely Francis, Amos, strengthen and faith. I heard smiling in his voice. So same to you, strength and faith. 144. Go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. Miss D, 6 Women Sports, saying like the video. DSB, like, subscribe. 4 Lang, still tripping. She built journal, everything. Yep. He sounds so miseducated, and sir, we are the culture, right? She built journal, shouting you out. Subscribe, like the video. Thank you very much. Black Feather Archery, Grand Rising to you. Warren Cole Kilgore B1, Shadow 1SD, T2 Dag. Who else? Well, that I can't see past that. So that's everybody who I can see in this. I'm just going backwards. So we got Adrian, Harry's in the building. Shalom family from Baltimore, MD. Shalom to you. And make sure you like and subscribe to the video. Tap in with your lineage. You feel me? This is the family reunion every time I go live. Jeanette Johnson, same to you. Grand Rising, tap in with your lineage. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I'm live twice a day normally. Normally anywhere from the morning to 12 p.m. I'll start. And late night, let's say like 10:30, 11, I'm live. Bushido Brown, what up, chat? Hope everyone's having a great day. Peace to you. Bushido, make sure that you subscribe and like the video. And I'm gonna cook on this flea, right? Carlos Magus, peace to you. He said good morning earlier. That was funny, Carlos. Sounds Band 2, peace to you. So I just want to shout out everybody that I can see in the chat. And yeah, so like the video, thank you very much. Also, if you want to support the channel, the Cash App handle is right there. The Super Chat thing is right there as well. But let me cook on this real fast. Okay. So the Great Migration. Okay. So they want to compare that to the modern immigration of Africans and Caribbeans to the U.S. All right, hold on, before I go crazy there for a second, give me 1 second, family. Monica, Florida FBA. Monica, salute to you, Grand Rising. Make sure you subscribe and like the video and keep in touch. Keep tapped in with your lineage, your family. Thank you very much. So the Great Migration and the modern immigration of Africans and Caribbeans, that is not equal. It's not equivalent historically, economically, or morally. Okay, so let's talk about the Great Migration first, right? From 1915 to about 1970. Okay, so Foundation Black Americans, we, American descendants of slaves in the U.S., you dig? Indigenous, whatever you call yourself. We left the South, like Tariq Nasheed said, and moved to the North, where our tax dollars were at, okay, because of systemic racism, not tourism. Okay, we weren't immigrating to another land. We were fighting. We're actually fighting. We're in war. Lynching, Jim Crow laws, chain gangs, and racial apartheid within our own country. We were literally POWs on the plantations. Okay, we were enslaved people in the Confederate States, family. We were enslaved people behind enemy lines. And it was a wise move to relocate and fight from a more strategic place, right? Fighting in the South wasn't the best place to fight from. It wasn't very advantageous for us to fight in the South. Okay, so we were POWs on those plantations and POWs in the Confederate States. All right. 1 second. I'm gonna definitely cook on these folks. Computer freezing up, so bear with me. God damn, really? Hold on. I'm trying to cook, but my computer is freezing. Wow. So that's not going to come back. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. We're back. I lost my image. Okay. Sit down, sit down. Okay, so Black Southerners, we were sharecroppers, we were making pennies on the land, all right, that we once cultivated for free. Now we're cheap labor. Okay, that's what's going on. You're gonna give context. All right. And our tax dollars is producing better jobs in the north. What do you think we're gonna do? Okay, so we moved to the northern and western cities to take advantage of job opportunities that our free and cheap labor have produced in the US. Steel companies, auto, Detroit, railroad, and shipping industry, docks and ports, right? Things that are free and cheap labor, jobs that are free and cheap labor help produce. So yes, we're going to take advantage of those job openings. So moving from Mississippi to Detroit ain't the same as Jamaica to Miami. You dig? Or Ellis Island. So could miss us with that one. All right. Ricardo Flott says, when you move from one place to another, that's a migration. When you leave one country to another, that's called immigration. It's that simple, and there's no comparison. Facts, 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 facts. Marvin Rowell says, once I get everything in order, I'm going to do my genealogy further. My name is on the Dawes Rolls listed as Freedman Indian. Wow. Yeah, but keep us in touch with that. All right, Chicago FBA says Panola, Mississippi, right? Bro says, get on Ron. Do I flee? If I go from Chicago to New York, remember, I'm still in the state. Right, right. And you're still where your tax dollars pile up and the country benefits from your tax dollars. It's goofy. Jeanette Johnson says, my family, both parents are from the Choctaw Natchez of Mississippi. Salute to you. Marvin read that already. RA Chicago FBA says, I don't know about that, Max. So I would say it's a lot of us, and we might be a bunch of different shades of brown. We all seem to look alike. Cultural superpower. The cultural superpower. Shalom to you. I meant to shout you out earlier. Missed you. Not need my glasses. All right. So what else we got here? Let me see. Any more comments that I should read? Marvin Rowell says, in Europe, they have statues dedicated to Moors of America. Yep. Yep. Gabby Wright says they went there to help build, and they did have the resources. They couldn't stay. Lord Maul in the building. I don't think did I shout you out. Okay. 7 Up says they got the nerve to call Tariq to be embarrassed. Right. Yeah, they love it. Claude Neely Francis Amos says these tethers are sick and delusional. The only way 10% of the world could control 90% of the world is if the 90% are completely out of their mind. Dr. Amos Wilson. Baba Doodoo. Okay, so let me finish cooking. All right, so now I explained the Great Migration. We're literally on Confederate land, behind enemy lines, POWs, and our free and cheap labor had went to build the industrial revolution in the North and the West. And you're right, we're going to take advantage of what our labor and tax dollars help produce. Let's talk about those tethers that come over here. Mostly post. They came over here mostly post civil rights era. Okay. They were not POWs. They were not behind enemy lines. They were not living on Confederate land, right? Former Confederate lands. And they were not moving around looking for better grounds to fight systemic racism. Right? Nope. Instead, they were leaving behind economic and political dysfunction, often rooted in colonial or neo-colonial corruption. Right? Now look what their absence did for their country. They created a brain drain effect. Many are educated elite. So the ones who actually came over, so let's talk about hyperselectivity. So they are many of those that got over here because of our civil rights movements, all right, our efforts. Many of them that got over here are the educated elites. So family, so when you look at these Chinese people and these Indians and Africans, they're so smart. That's because they are the smartest representatives of their country. These are not regular Chinese people or Indian people or Africans in their homeland. These are not the normal laymen and laywomen. These are their elites. These are their best. Okay, they're upward mobile middle classes. Okay, so they're leaving their country to cash in on opportunities created by our civil rights activists and gains of our ancestors. You dig? So they are beneficiaries of a system that we FBA fought to open for these folks. Okay, Foundation Black Americans, we marched, fought, got jumped on, hosed down, so the visa system would even recognize Africans and Caribbeans, anybody else, as worthy of entry. Now, some of them want to lecture us about work ethic. Stop it. 246 years of unpaid labor built America's agricultural and industrial base. That wealth seeded Wall Street, U.S. banking, and the Industrial Revolution. The Homestead Act, 1862, that I speak of oftenly, GI Bill, and the New Deal programs enriched white families, while FBA, we were a locked out family. The civil rights movement led by FBA ended explicit segregation and created immigration reforms in 1965, enabling mass African and Caribbean entry. So all of those elite Chinese people need to thank us because of the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. They were not allowed in this country. All right, so that's crazy. All right, so anyway, Foundation Black Americans, we produced America's wealth. We fought to make it livable, and we were ourselves denied the benefits, the fruits of our labor. We didn't fly here for a better life. We built the country that made life better for those who flew in here or snuck on in a goddamn banana boat. African and Caribbean nations were not industrially underdeveloped by nature, but by European colonial extraction, true, and elite mismanagement. Okay. Many immigrants flee self-inflicted crisis. Self-inflicted. They do them themselves. Corrupt leadership is their own leadership that's corrupt, tribal patronage themselves, and elite hoarding of export tourism wealth. Their country, their government, the government, when they get the money, they don't redistribute it amongst the people. They keep it and pocket it and leave their own people poor. So this is an internal thing that's going on while they're fleeing. They're not fleeing because of the white man. They're fleeing from themselves, by the way. And when they arrive in America, they access benefits and protections won by our FBA, civil activist bloodshed. And then they claim cultural superiority over us when they get here. They leave their own nations because of their self-corruption, then call us lazy for staying in the nation we built and were robbed in. Okay, so let's check this out right here. What the helly? What the helly, Halle Berry? So let me see. So anyway, so when we didn't migrate, we were migrated, and we're still standing on the land our ancestors died building. So when they say we're all in this together, we all came here for a better life, we're not part of that conversation or that in crowd. And no, you came for a better life. We came in chains and never left. We built this place. Your parents fled corruption, self-corruption. Our parents fought corruption and still live under it today. So your parents fled corruption. Our parents fought corruption. Big difference. We did immigrate to America. America, with the help of Africans, created the opportunity to bring us over here uh, against our will. So Tethers, never, never, never conflate leaving your homeland voluntarily with being ripped from one and still paying the bill 400 years later. So the Great Migration does not equate to immigration. Okay, so we were dealing with Jim Crow, and you guys were dealing with self-corruption, people who look like you, who sold you out. Big, 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 big difference there. Right. I hate to give you that sad truth, but that's what we're doing. Chad Smith, piece of you, Baker Boy 3 in the building. Who else stepped in while I was cooking? Oh, Rod News says we are indigenous to this landmass. There's no fleeing for us. We are indigenous people. Let me give Rod New his lineage wrench, make him a moderator. In exchange, Rod New, make sure you like the video and then subscribe. Then check us out. Join the family reunion. Right. Carrie Wright said, we move around our states and we're still part of the same government, same laws. You said, same military, same policemen, nothing changed but the landmass, everything, and same people in the country. You did. They've been doing with hunger and flies. Okay, all right. So the likes, I appreciate the likes. The likes got up there. Okay, so let me invite. Okay, let me share a Tether video, and then well, I don't know what they are. Let me share it, and then let's see. Let's do a live reaction together. What is this about?
So I'm back and we've got to talk. So I'm being pursued and this is an extension of the video that I made about being facing discrimination and bias in a hostile environment last semester with a professor who is a Black man. And he's a Black man from Ghana, actually. So, and this is relevant.
Thank you.
Basically, I reported all of that. It was to no avail. The man fudged my grades, all kinds of things.
Wait. I'm gonna get this. Sounds like tea for tonight. So I'm gonna say that one for tonight. I'm dealing with the wars right now. Hold on. What's this right here?
The video that we started last week. And I'm about to embark on a little journey. However, all right. I wanted to quote my book. So I have a book on themselves in. You are not more Yoruba than me. You are not more African than me because your colonizer forced you to speak Portuguese while mine beat English into my tongue. We cannot continue to argue.
Uh-oh. It sounds like, yeah, we ain't buying that book. It's like a kumbaya book. Ain't nobody behind you.
But y'all.
It's your guilty conscience.
So when we talk about diaspora wars, we are comparing, as I will continue to say forever and ever, who had the best oppressor. One of the
So this is what they water it down to. Matter of fact, let me invite her to the panel. I got to give her an incentive. I gotta give her an incentive. Okay. So let's go on how she watered it down.
Type of consultations that I'm blessed to be able to do is called an Idele reading. In an Idele reading, our ancestors in Oyotunji Village, South Carolina, created a way of speaking to the deities and speaking to your highest self, your head, to see what part of West and Central Africa your ancestors came from. I added to this type of reading also a check to see which seasoning island your ancestors were held on. So let's go back to this matter of the seasoning islands. The the three largest places where Africans were taken for the purpose of seasoning, preparing them for enslavement, were Barbados, Jamaica, and Brazil. All Africans all over the world are very much pulled to these places. We very much see ourselves in these places. We very much feel ourselves in the food, in the dance, in the music of these places. And this is one of the reasons. When we speak about Barbados in particular, there is a connection between Gullah Geechee tradition here in the United States and Barbados culture, Afro-Bajan culture, I would call it. Even though the island is majority black, I'm speaking, of course, not of those parts of the culture that may have a British origin, but the parts of the culture that have a West and Central African origin. So there is a deep connection between the Gullah Geechee region of the United States and the island of Barbados. There.
All right, family, I'm definitely not gonna do that one. Let's get past that one. Yeah, I ain't doing that. Yeah, I asked her, I invited her. That's the best I can do. She needs some serious straightening. All right, what is this about?
On that, we also have severe flooding in Manhattan and Jersey. Some reported
conversations with myself and you on and on about the diaspora wars and how idiotic it is to the unification of the diaspora around the world. How we talked about the Sha'Carri Richardson thing last week. And we also noticed when it was happening on Clubhouse in the beginning, early stages of Clubhouse, where you had these people from the African continent, you had people from the Americas, you had people from Jamaica, the islands, all voicing their opinion on their distaste with unifying with other blacks around the world. What is your thoughts on why this is happening within the diaspora, where an app like Clubhouse, where people can come together and actually get to know each other, actually get to build? We were finding that it was a lot more us versus you, African Americans versus Africans, or Nigerians.
I have no idea what an African American is. That's a nothing burger.
Nigerians versus African Americans, or now it's Jamaicans versus African Americans. What do you think this is all stemming from?
Well, the ideology behind separatism stems back from, slavery, where you don't want unification because unification leads to the demolition of slavery, right?
Right.
So if you're going to pit someone against each other, you need to create that narrative where no one can see themselves in other people who are similar, right? So, for example, I've been told a few times where African born people have come here, and in the immigration process, they're told not to get mixed up with the African Americans here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you have.
So, do you behave like dogs? I mean, like that's a horrible justification. So you're told to do something like a dog and you just go do it. And we don't believe that at all anyway.
have the African Americans here where they're like, well, I'm not African, I'm American. And, you know, they don't want to be
at all. That part.
associated with that because to some extent, it's kind of been ingrained in our mind as shame, you know, like.
No, not shame, just reality. We're not. It's okay. Y'all not like us, we're not like you.
Out of this entire planet and all the different races, we were the really kind of the only ones that really got the brunt of the stick. You know, and even in Africa, you know, with the apartheid lasting into the late 80s, you know, that was only 30 some odd years ago.
Right.
So just the shame, I really think that it has to do with the shame and the ingraining in the mind passed down through generations that, oh, you're not African, you know, you're African American. That's separate.
No, we're not either. No, we're not either. We're just simply foundational Black Americans. Real simple.
It has just been a norm.
Yeah. I think, you know, we spoke about this before, how the part the media plays into this, right? If you're on the African continent now, what are you being fed about African Americans? You're being fed slavery. You're being fed hip hop. You're being fed the Cardi B's of the world.
Okay. Well, he's Dominican and Puerto Rican for one. But here is the justification. Here it goes. This is how they avoid accountability. He is setting the stage to avoid accountability, avoid just saying, hey, man, like we were wrong. We came with the wrong mentality in your homeland. We disrespected you and we apologize. They just can't do it. They got to say all this stuff right here to justify it.
You're being fed street life, gangsters, thugs. This is what you're being fed about.
How you being fed that when your whole homeland comprises all of that times 10?
African Americans, right? For those on the African continent due to the media.
Right.
And then let's look at the flip side of that.
Blame the media. Here we go. So now they're going to make it 50-50. It's 50-50. Your media is brainwashing you and our media is brainwashing us. Man, we need to come together and just fight against the media. It's the media.
Are African Americans being fed by the media about Africa? The Jungle, National Geographic.
Stop it. What are you talking about? Like, dude, you're being fed 100% lies. Okay, we don't think about your country at all, for one. Two, whatever is on National Geographic, we're watching like animals. Okay, we're watching like tigers and hippopotamus and crocodiles and cheetahs. We don't. There's nothing about a person on that I ever seen. Like I watched National Geographic for the animals, like go warring against each other, not actually people. So again, it just make it like, how do you telling us what's? You can speak for yourself. You can speak what influenced you guys, but you can't speak to what influences us. We don't rely on media, okay? No. That's not right. Yeah, we don't rely on media to tell us how to view people. We actually engage with you, and we see that when we engage with you, you believe stereotypes about us, and that's going to make us back up and call you out. So, like somebody said the other day, us calling you out, you guys call diaspora wars. No, we're not going to let nobody disrespect us, and it's not both sides; it's one sided. Because like you said, your media train you a certain way to look at us a certain way, and we respond to that. We call you out. We're not in your homeland calling you names and disrespecting you because of media. So let's not do that.
Tribal people, poverty, these disease, famine, these are the things that we on this side of the world, on the Western side of the world, are being shown about the Africans on the African continent. So we're being fed two different things about each other.
Exactly.
And when we do get together in this melting pot we call the United States of America, we find that we're a lot more different. than we are similar. And some of that is got to do with the traditions that were taken away from African Americans that they no longer have due to that separation from the African continent, having to get used to their master's tongues, having to take on their master's names. Things like this kind of separated many of us from the African continent. But I really feel like it's not.
Orlando Brown. I mean, I said Brown. Orlando Burgess. I like your style, bro. Peace to you, man. Appreciate it. Let's go.
Not to blame one another. I think at this point, we have to bridge that gap. You know, Africans,
we can bridge a gap by that false information you just spewed. Yeah, what are you talking about, bro? Like, wait, hold on. You just said, yeah, look at the comparison he just made. He said that they view us a certain way because media paint us as thugs, killers, and baby daddies. Everything they are in their country. So that's projection. And then he says, when it comes to us, our media shows National Geographic. That's not even equivalent. I mean, so we're looking at the safari in Africa. We're looking at the Nile River or the Nile Valley, whatever in Africa. Those are real places. But what were we? He never pointed out what brainwashed us to view them as less than. He never pointed that out, or I missed it. But yeah, that was a horrible comparison. Like they don't even equate. And then keep in mind, you're coming to where we live with these stereotypes. You can keep those stereotypes in your homeland, but you're bringing them over here. That is the disrespect, bro. We're not even.
We have to understand that our African American brothers and sisters.
Hey, peace to many, FBA. I'm gonna make you a moderator, give you a lineage wrench. Welcome to the family reunion. You dig? Subscribe so you can always tap in with your lineage when we're live. We're live normally early, late morning, you know, around 11, 12. And then we're back live late, like 10:30, 11, something like that. I got hella diaspora rewards for y'all. It's gonna be, get your popcorn. That's what I'm gonna say to that. But yeah, everybody make sure you just keep liking the video. Let's go. But you see the denial, like they don't just want to be accountable for their just poor actions. Again, these are the same people who have been. There we go with that dumb shit. Okay, so these are the same people who sold us. So when they interact with us, you see there's no love lost. They come with stereotypes and all types of shit. There's no love lost when they come to our homeland. Family, they just sold us like not too long ago. And then when they come to our homeland to see how great we are, they come with, you niggas, you ain't shit. I thought I made Jack Boy Music a mod. Let me make you a mod now. I don't know what happened, but you're a mod now. You got your lineage wrench. Yeah, but family, you would think after you sold us, you'll come to our homeland with some type of humility. You know, oh, are you okay? Like, what's going on? I see you guys living. I see you guys are great. They come here with no love lost, stereotypes, shit they want to believe about us because they can't justify what they did, and they don't want to rectify it.
Disconnected.
So they gotta justify it with this shit right here.
From Africa. And on the flip side of that, African Americans, let's not look at the Africans who come into this country as people who are stealing opportunities from us.
Oh no, they definitely are. And they're entitled and they're disrespecting us. So it ain't just that. It's the disrespect, it's the entitlement, and the stealing. It's a lot more.
Because I've heard that a lot too. We did hear that a lot of people saying that immigrants are taking all types of jobs from African Americans.
You are. When you come over here, you're actually competing.
What are your thoughts on that statement on that?
I really, really disdain that statement. And I disdain that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants, right?
Wait, what? Family, you're hearing it. Now, I don't know I know what he is. He's definitely a Tether. I don't know what she is, but she will have to be with that type of comment. Y'all heard it. I never watched this, so this is my first time watching it along with you guys. What the hell did she say? Wait a minute. So this be the issue, family. That be the issue. Because you got people who claim that they are one with us, same ancestry and the motherland, and they can't give us our credit. But you have people who they call our ops, and they could give us credit. Listen, I got to do it. For you guys who are new, you haven't seen this, but the regulars, they know what I'm gonna show. Okay. Da, 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 da. Okay, so the regulars know what I'm gonna show.
That the entire purpose of affirmative action set aside civil rights laws, laws that limit constitutional rights to freedom of contract, freedom of association, all of that was to make up for the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow. So unless these benefits are going to, roughly defined, foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves, you've taken away the whole purpose of.
So family, you got racists, known racists who could give us flowers for our contributions and even call us our desired ethnonym, foundational Black Americans and culture, right? So she could give us our flowers in her racism. Watch this.
This. So to make the point that Kamala isn't a foundational Black American, I'm always pointing to unless these benefits are going to, roughly defined.
Thank you. And she also delineated, she said, and Kamala is not FBA, right? This is common sense.
Foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves.
Now, before he talks, let's go back to what she just said. This crazy shit.
The African people backs of in that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants.
All right. That's unbelievable.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You're just starting to get real credit for that.
That's funny because we're getting the credit from you, who's supposed to be an op. But we're not getting the credit from people who supposedly be with us, one with us.
Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation.
We built the nation, but look what this Tether says.
We really disdain that statement. And I disdain that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants. Right.
So you got so people say Trump is a known racist. So you got a known racist who could give us our flowers, but somebody who's supposed to be one with us is giving the credit to. You can't make this up, family. Can't make this up. Yeah, that beat is dope. You can't make this up, family.
Right. The African people that were brought here were not native; they were immigrants, right? And then you have.
She said it. Oliver Johnson III, peace to you. She said we're not native, we were immigrants, family. She said she called us the I word. So that means that we could get deported. She said we were immigrants.
All the other, right? The African people that man, and I disdain
from Africa.
So this is what happens, family, when you link up with Africans. Africans will look. You see, he didn't disagree. He approved that statement. Yeah, we're all immigrants, and this is normally what happens, family, when you hook up with Africans. They will have you say reparations should not be lineage based, which all reparations are. They'll say reparations should be race based, and a race based reparations family is a nothing burger. You will never win a Supreme Court with a race based reparations claim. It has to be lineage based. But when you hook up with Africans, they will make it race-based and non-lineage based. When you hook up with Africans, family, it's just always bad news. It's always a nothing burger where we lose. So she hooked up with him, and now he coached her to say we're immigrants. This is wild. Not only competing, but blocking as well. Right. Let me give our brother Orlando and Lineage Wrench. All right, make sure you guys are liking the video. We got 160 watching live. We should have 160 or close likes there. And subscribe if you're new here, and tap in with us later on tonight, late night if you're up. If not, tap back in tomorrow and every day. I'm live every day, basically. Same hours, twice a day, late night and early afternoon.
African Americans. What are your thoughts on that statement on that?
I really, really disdain that statement. And I disdain that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants.
Right, baby, Roger.
Right? Mm-hmm. The African people that were brought here.
And look, by saying that, she's smiling. Like, look at the little smirk she said by lying, because she knows she's lying, and he approves that. Yeah, family, I want nothing to do with these Africans.
I really, really disdain that statement. And I disdain that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants, right? The African people that were brought here were not.
Okay, so Oliver Johnson, I just made you a moderator. Christina Brown, I'm gonna do the same for you. Christina Brown, make sure you like the video, subscribe so you can tap in with the lineage more often and going forward.
Native, they were immigrants, right? And then you have the immigrants,
I gotta hear that.
right? Disdain that statement. And
statement on that.
I really, really disdain that statement. And I disdain that statement because this country was built on the backs of immigrants, right? The African people that were brought here were not native, they were immigrants, right? And then you have the immigrants of all the other cultures and races that came over and contributed into the building up of the United States of America. So I really don't like the idea that they're coming over here and stealing jobs. A lot of the times, I found that the people who have come over here have really worked hard to get to where they are to be able to come over here because it's such an expensive move.
Yeah. Wait, they worked hard because it's expensive? That's what? Yeah. Family. She it looked like she's reading something. But I would love to speak with her. Matter of fact, why not? It don't hurt to invite. They never I gotta write a nice message to get him over here. And then his lion's teeth. Okay, somebody responded. Let's see if they it's an invitation. Nope. Okay, yeah. I would love to get her over here.
Yeah. You know, and if you're coming from an impoverished area, you know, and you're going to what they call primary school and secondary school and then university, you know, that is not an easy accomplishment. So for them to be able to come over here and do that, and then to be able to send for their family to come over here and do that, you know, I think that we should be supportive of that. Right. And if you feel like somebody is taking your job, well, look at, you know, take a time to look at their backstory and see, well, you know what, maybe they deserved it.
Are you serious? Yeah. Oh my, yeah. This is our supposedly allies right here. That's saying, yeah, we come to replace you and just embrace it. Maybe we're supposed to replace you. You dig? Okay.
Right.
Now,
you know, give your replacements flowers. That's what she's basically saying.
Let me look at myself. How can I level up so I don't have to worry about my job, you know, replacing me?
Level up? Ma'am, the people who are replacing us are the elites of their entire country. The average FBA can't compete with the elites of a country. This is wild. This is severe brainwashing. But she has to be non-FBA.
Backstory. Well, right. And if you feel like somebody is taking your job, well, look at, you know, take a time to look at their backstory and see, well, you know what, maybe they deserved it.
Right.
Now let me look at myself. How can I level up so I don't have to worry about my job, replacing me?
Well, what Shay, what it has to do when it comes to immigration, though,
And he had no emotional expression to that crazy stuff she said. He had no emotional expression. Like these guys, just like there's just no connection. There's just no connection. It's just a blank stare, no emotional expression. It's just business as usual.
it got a lot to do with what that country has to offer your country, right? Nigeria, I mean, you can talk about cocoa, you can talk about
Here we go with more explaining.
Oil, you can talk about all different things that the country Nigeria can offer the United States. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran, all of those areas with those oil mines or whatever the case may be. Those countries offer the United States something in exchange for the United States taking some of their people to the United States. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the difference on why many people are able to come to the United States, because their country is offering this oil or cocoa in exchange for some of their people to be able to come and represent them in the United States. Mm-hmm. That's something that's not talked about or known. Immigrants are allowed to come to this country and flourish, so to speak, start businesses a lot easier than people who are actually born and raised here, who are Black African American. I would definitely say the opportunities are a lot harder for those who are African American born on American soil.
Absolutely. We talk about systematic oppression all the time in terms of
African American born on American soil.
Absolutely. We talk about systematic oppression all the time. In terms of the African American born people, the fact that the systematic oppression has been something that we've been living with, since we were brought here, basically. Mm-hmm. So you go to a bank and let's say
Wait, she changed her whole approach.
I want to sell my house, right? And let's say, for example, I live in a suburban area. My house in the area is probably worth $250,000, right? And that's just a general idea for where I am. Now, if I want to go to the bank and get my house appraised because I've made upgrades and alterations and
okay, so she's gonna walk back everything she said earlier. This is wild.
Made it better, and the white person next to me is doing the same thing. It's been proven that the white person will actually.
Yeah, I was talking on mute earlier. I dropped the microphone, but I'm back.
Get more money for the appraisal than the Black person. That was actually a study that was done not only in Florida, but it was actually done here in Rochester with a family in Pittsburgh.
So is that when you say that, is that a government issue or is that a...
Wait. But you just walked back everything you said earlier. You said that Foundation Black Americans weren't getting employment because we were just not, skilled enough. And now you're saying it's systemic racism. Well, we can't. Yeah, she's wild. Yeah, I would love for her to accept the invitation to come over here. Hey, man, piece of songwriter Sunny. We got Leonard, then Yuda in the building. We got Wind Talker. Kimmy just pulled up. We have, as I said, we got Iconic S. But Travis Jones is pulled up in here. Definitely pathetic. We're gonna be getting off soon, right after this one. So tap back in late night tonight or early afternoon tomorrow. Late morning, early afternoon.
Immigrant issue? Is that an immigration issue? Because that sounds like it's a government issue.
It's a government issue, and it has absolutely nothing to do with immigration. You know, immigrate, like you said, the immigrants that come here, yes, they are allowed to get things a little bit more easier than
Then what you said earlier didn't make any sense.
us. And to a certain extent, especially when it comes down to opening up a business, I would say they get it a lot more easier than us. You know?
But you just contradicted yourself.
But at the same time, we have to also take a part of that blame because we don't raise the issues and make it a problem. You know what I mean? You have a problem because you can't start a business. Well, what are you going to do? Just pitch a temper tantrum? Or are you going to find out the legal process to raise this issue to make it better?
Wait, so now she's blaming us? All right, family, listen. This is part 2. I'm gonna leave it right here. Because 15 more minutes to go. I'm gonna head to the park with my son. Family. I've been here, how long I've been live? I've been live, how long? 2 hours. All right, so look, family, I'm gonna finish this part 2 late tonight. Pull up late tonight if you're up. If you can't make it, then catch the replay and tune in tomorrow morning, late morning, early afternoon. We're live again. Thank you, Alexis Berry, for the super chat, $2 in super chat. Also, family, you can also support the channel by liking the video. You can also support the channel by donating to the Cash App handle, which is $unbiased Ron. That's well appreciated. But I gotta leave, unfortunately. We're vibing out, but my son is like really want to get to that park. So I'm gonna do what white supremacy lie about and say fathers are not active. And y'all know every time I'm live, you hear my son in the background ever since I've been live. So my son's gonna be 4, and next month he'll be 4. And people heard him in all of my lives, ever since he was born. Ever since he could make a noise, since he's been cooing. So he's always been a part of the lives, ever since he was cooing. All right. And like 5, 6 months. So people who was following me for almost 4 years. You guys know you've been hearing my son in my lives for 4 years. All right. So I'm very active. He's always with me. So like I said, thank you for the super chat, Alexis Berry. Like the video. Cash App is there for folks who want to support that way. And we're out. Peace, and I love the lineage. I love my family. And I see you guys late tonight, and I see some of you guys and gals early afternoon, late morning tomorrow.